Sounds good. Better than a walkthrough.
Hello, hello, hello.
Well, welcome to the Rotary Club of Park Cities. I'm Richard Stanford, standing in today for President Barb Jeffries. Barb is at the district conference luncheon today, telling everybody about what the largest club in District 5810 is doing these days. You saw the pictures last week of what we're premiering. Thank you for being here. We need to recognize all our guests and visiting Rotarians. So if you're a visiting Rotarian or if you have a guest, would you stand? We're going to start here on the left side. And John, you go ahead. We'll start with Scott. Over on this left side. Well, we'll start on the right side. Yeah, go ahead. Holly's close.
We're starting over here.
Holly's close.
It's my pleasure to introduce a fellow worker at Turner with me. She's a cost analyst in our Dallas business unit, Shawnee Jindal. Did I do that right? Shawnee. So in any case, she was in the Interact Club at her school in India. So she knows about Rotary, and so I got her to come today.
Welcome. Daniel.
Thank you, John. All right, so we've got a couple. The Rotary machine continues to crank along here with all of our fantastic new members. So we've actually got a couple. Natalie Corey works for a local law firm doing marketing and such, has been exploring Rotary clubs, and literally just put in her nomination form last night. So is going through the interview process. We're very excited about that.
Thank you. I'm Natalie Corey. I am with Henley & Henley PC law firm, and I actually grew up here in Dallas in Preston Hollow, went to Ursuline, and I am very, very excited to join this club. Hopefully I'll get through the interview process. And just really looking forward to meeting each and every single one of you and helping out in any way I can. Thank you.
All right, our next candidate is J.R. Priestman. So J.R. Actually completed his interview. If all the board members, you should have his nomination form in your email box as we speak. So he is a proposed member. If you have not met him yet, please take a moment after the meeting. Come up and meet J.R. He's a fantastic individual. I know you spoke last week, but I'll let you talk.
No, that's all. Thanks for having me. This is my third meeting in a row. Like Daniel said, I've submitted my application, so please vote for me.
You're right.
Or I guess just don't vote against me. Just ignore the email.
You get to stand up now. I'm going to introduce, because she hasn't been here in a while, my wife, Jan. And in fact, I want to brag on us a little bit. This July, we will have been married 54 years. Oh.
Lee was supposed to introduce me as a guest. Just a joke. Anyway, welcome Susan Harrison, my love of my life, my wife of quite a few years.
Okay, and Dennis, just hand it to Jeff.
Thank you. I too would like to introduce my sweetie and my wife, Sarah.
I have visiting with me today my bride of only 41 years. We are both happily retired, me from Vista Bank, and my wife has had a career as a registered nurse, psychiatric nurse. So welcome, Mary Kay.
All right. We're going to have our invocation followed by our pledge and national anthem. You can Go ahead. Go ahead and stand. We don't have to get up and down that way. Holly Hollenbeck is going to bring us all those things. And remember, when we sing, put on your mask.
I've never chewed a mouth of food so fast when he said the invocation. So in any case, hopefully there's no food in my teeth. I'm going to just make a quick announcement, which kind of leads into the invocation. So we've gone without service opportunities for a whole year now because of COVID. And many of us, myself included, are just chomping at the bit to get out there and have an opportunity to make a difference in our community like we Rotarians do as people of action, you know, who put service above self. So keep in mind right now, our Leadership of Legacy group has a Friday afternoon, about 3 to 5:30, down at Bonton Farms every single Friday from now through the end of May. We only need about 5 volunteers every. So please email. Wow, this is really tricky. Is this one on? Oh, much better. Okay, here we go. So now we pray. There is power in numbers. The energy vibrating in this room ensures we are unencumbered when we presume to change the world. Look around. We've gathered here to celebrate and be astounded at the good that can be traced to each and every one of us as Rotarians in our great Park Cities Club. Let us be thankful for this. Let us be grateful as we break down dissension and doubt and fear, and we come together to put service above self again. Let us be thankful, my fellow Rotarians, to be here in person and to have the opportunity to make a difference. In God's name we pray. Amen. Now the pledge. Am I supposed to read it? Oh, I thought we had music for this. Okay. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, whoever started it over there. Much appreciated. Sorry. Oh, there's the music.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, Mary McMahon's going to introduce our marketplace advertiser.
Oh my gosh, this is so nice to be here. I almost felt like I didn't know how to walk into this building anymore. So it's my first time back since our first try back in October. So really good to be with everyone. Thank you so much. Today, Pat Martin and People Newspapers is our marketplace advertiser. People Newspapers is all about community. Later this year, they will celebrate their 40th year of publishing Park Cities People and serving this wonderful community. In addition to Park Cities People, they publish Preston Hollow People, both award-winning newspapers. People Newspapers is committed to producing excellent community newspapers and digital offerings to serve the neighborhoods they cover. More than ever, the local journalism niche continues to be successful and grows despite a challenging media climate. 2019, People Newspapers won 9 awards from the National Newspapers Association. Awards in page design, promotions, advertising, and editorial content, with 3 first-place honors and the coveted General Excellence Award. National Newspaper Association judges' comments included, "This newspaper stood out to me from all others in the category," and "absolutely wonderful, engaging, and delightful." People newspapers' lineup of weekly e-newsletters include one specific to each market. The Plaid Market covers Highland Park sports. There's Giving People, Fun People, and in 2021, People newspapers launched People at Home weekly newsletter featuring real estate and home-related news, including the latest open houses. People newspapers' demographics, penetration, and leadership are unmatched in Dallas, with a total circulation of 48,000. Their advertisers' message is reaching the right audience in substantial numbers. They would be honored to help you brand your company too. So join me today in thanking Pat Martin for being a Park Cities Rotarian and People newspapers for being our marketplace advertiser for today. Thank you so much.
All right, Mr. Rotary Foundation, Greg Pape has a lot of stuff to award today.
And I know we've got a very packed agenda, so we'll go through this expeditiously. Year to date, we have over $25,000 of contributions among 56 of our fellow Rotarians. Pretty good. Maybe we'll set a record. June 30th is our last fiscal date for 2021. We're going to honor some fellow Rotarians that have gone beyond, and we're going to recognize them for their various contribution levels. So I'm going to call up the following people that are here, and if you can line up behind me. Chris Clausen, I know I saw you walking around. Please join us. Tom Rhodes, Tom Swift, Nolan Duck, past President Rod Pirtle, not joining us today. Okay. Scott McLaughlin, Karen Ferris, past president. Holly Hollenbeck, back to the podium. I'm not sure Tracy is here or Lynn, but if you are, please come forward. Some of you guys surprised me. Showed up. So Tom Rhodes, you're used to climbing ladders. Beautiful Rotary Foundation pin. Tom Rhodes gets a Rotary pin with one sapphire indicating a level 2 Rotary Foundation contribution level. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you. Chris, you're probably going to hit the ball, and the cover's coming off. But I have for you, direct from Chicago. You're at level 4. Hard to hold it. We've got 3 sapphire, level 4. Nolan Duck, you're moving as fast as lightning. And we have for you today a level 5. So there's 4 sapphires on this pin. 1 plus 4, level 5. And Nolan just happened to give me another Paul Harris Fellow check about 10 minutes ago. Incredible. Nolan Duck. Thank you, brother. And then Scott McLaughlin. Oh, wow. Now we got some heavy hitters here. So you start out with sapphires, but then you graduate to rubies. And Scott's got 3 rubies on this pin, which indicates level 9. One freckle from becoming a major donor, which I'm sure he will soon. But let's congratulate Scott for level 9 foundation level. You're the best. And our past president, Karen Ferris, doesn't want to be outdone. So she's also a level 9. 3 rubies, pin, level 9, past president Karen Ferris. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate you. Holly's got a foundation background. She's come to us, fortunately. She's now part of us, our group, Park Cities Rotary. But she's come from other Rotary clubs and has a good background as a foundation chair, so she understands the giving and the contribution level. So she has stepped in real early with her membership here, and we have for her a certificate from Rotary International for her Paul Harris Fellow most recent contribution. Appreciate you. And, oh, Tom, you zap me every time I walk into the club. And it's my turn now. So, Tom, could you open that up? Hold it up, because you've been a really stout contributor. 3 sapphires on there in the pin, level 4 contribution to the Rotary Foundation, Tom Swift. Thank you, Tom. Let's give them all a big hand and a picture.
Our president-elect, Happy Franklin, is going to tell us about more of those fun things that she's organizing for us. So, Happy.
Hi there. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? I'm so excited Karla's here today. I asked her if she'd sing for us, so I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. Mark your calendars to join us on Tuesday after next for our programs meeting. That's May 27th at 6 p.m. We definitely want your great ideas. And so we have a fantastic programs team. We really want you to be there to give us some great ideas starting on July 1. Please save the date for June 13th. We have pushed the Italian dinner back to Sunday, June 13th to accommodate more people. It's a cooking class, a 4-course Italian cooking class. And so at the home of Ann Connolly, they live in Allen. It's $100 per person, but you're going to get a fabulous 4-course meal, all the wine you want, limoncello. So it's going to be an amazing experience. And you'll also get to hear more about Italy. So I'll have that registration on the sent out via email today. So please register early so we can have a full group of Park City Rotarians. Thank you.
Past President Karen Ferris is going to talk to you about our awards nomination.
Thank you. I think it's safe to say, Rotarians, that we never in the history of Rotary have we had a year like we just had. What do you think? Global pandemic that shut down operations and changed a lot, but you know, it didn't change everything. When you read Betty Dawson's Hub and you look at the video that Barb just sent out, it's very clear that things still happened. We still had committee team meetings. We still had meetings. We had great programs. Jeff, you guys just did a remarkable job with putting together great programs. And the broadcasting people, kudos to you all for making that happen. We still had new members. We grew the club. We actually had we actually put together the Legacy of Leadership class that made. We had board meetings. We met budgets. And so we have a lot. And actually then on top of all of that, we did a service project where we raised $150,000 for the clinic at Bonton. So a lot happened this year. There's a lot to celebrate. And so this is the time of year when we begin to look around for nominations for our club awards. For those of you who've been in the club a while, you know the drill. We want your nominations. These are kept in secret until they're revealed at our installation banquet, one clue at a time. For those of you who are new to the club, these awards are named after some of our legends. Some of them are living and some of them are not. I'm going to send out again my email that has a description of each of the awards and a list of the recipients who've already received the award. Please take a moment and read that. A couple things to remember. Typically, we don't award the same award to somebody twice. Has been done, but it's very, very rare. So please look at who has received the award before you nominate. And secondly, we typically don't nominate the current officers because this is really their way of celebrating you and recognizing you for your accomplishments. Again, not 100%, but that's typically. So the other last detail is May 13th is the deadline, so please get these to me. If you're IT challenged and you can't figure out how to fill out my form, go ahead, just email me, send it back to me, or to Fred Brown. We'll get that compiled. And all of this will be announced at our installation banquet on June 25th, right. So get those nominations in.
And now Stan Wright is going to talk to us about Packing Day.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just to remind you again, we've got a Packing Day coming up May 2 Saturdays from tomorrow. So how many of y'all have ever been out there to the North Texas Food Bank and seen that? You know, it's an incredible facility. What we're going to do is have our Packing Day afterwards. I've got someone that's going to give us, it could be Tricia Cunningham, or she'll be there, but who's the CEO, CF. She's a big dog there. And somebody's going to give us a tour of the facility, and it's really incredible. Last year, I can't believe this has been 2 years ago that we were there. I mean, time really flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? 2 years. Then we had about 40 people show up. We had, if you have a child, if they're 14 or older, then they can come. It's no problem at all. You can bring a friend, a neighbor, a girlfriend, your wife if your girlfriend can't come. So that's what happened to me. My girlfriend couldn't, so I invited my wife's coming. So anyway, it'll be a fun. It's from 9 to 12. If you can get there a little early, like 8:30, 8:45, so we can have a little pre-register there. And hope you come. If you have any questions, this is what we did a couple of years ago. The food bank out there had a drive of all the corporations to get peanut butter jars. I don't know what the prize was, but what company were able to get the most peanut butter jars. Our job was they wanted to make sure they were all, before they shipped them out, they were, sanitary, or not half-eaten or whatever. So we had to unscrew every one of those and make sure the seal was there's been, I've done this several times. Every time I go, there's something different, interesting. It's always fun to do. After that, I couldn't eat peanut butter probably for about 2 months, I think, after that. But this is how many, they always keep track of what you do out there. Y'all turn your head, and one day you can see that. I'll read it for you. It's we took those and we put them in boxes. It was like 180 boxes, and but how they calculate things at the food bank, how many meals. So our work for that morning provided, they said 5,728 meals, which is pretty incredible. So that's the kind of thing. Is that the last? I can't remember. Okay. Anyway, so I hope you go. We've got 35 reservations. We've already gotten about 15. It's only been up. You've got your email to sign up. You have to go on and sign up to do that. So about 15 people have already signed up. So if you could go on and sign up, I think we'll have a lot of fun. Thanks. Well, absolutely. I'm sorry. Yeah. My boyfriend couldn't come either.
Just some real quick announcements. You know to make your reservations online. We have to make our reservations by Wednesday noon for our meetings. So remember to do that. And if you're unable to do that, remember you can always watch on YouTube later. We're recording all this, and it'll be on YouTube. Two or three other things. The RI convention, hopefully I got it. Hopefully everybody got the notice that you can attend the virtual 2021 RI convention. I think I went to Hamburg in 19. Barb couldn't go to Honolulu in 20 because it canceled. And then Taipei, Happy couldn't go to Taipei. 25,000 people show up for those things. It's the biggest thing you've ever been in. So you can experience a little of that remotely by May 7th. It costs $49. You have to sign up for it, but you can attend a virtual Rotary convention in 2021. And just remember, 2022, we're going to be busy. It's going to be in Houston. So we're going to have a role in that, no doubt about it. So just put that on your calendar for next year. Other than that, Holly's already talked about the Bonton Farms, so you have to register for that this afternoon, 3 to 6. The district conference is going on. We've mentioned that. Some of us will be going tomorrow for the main conference. Some of us are there already. Save Friday the 25th for our awards banquet will be at Park Cities Club. Happy worked that out, so that'll be kind of fancy. Particularly on Tuesday night, the 27th, is our program committee Zoom meeting. Everybody is part of that. That is one of our great strengths. We have 15 or 20 people get on those things, and we throw it around, and before the night's over, we're headed forward in ways that is really powerful. So be part of that. And if you've got some program suggestions, just get on Zoom. You'll get the link, and just get on Zoom and let's talk program for the coming year. Already starting to add some of those, but we're going to accelerate after next Tuesday night. So be part of that. Now it is time to get Karla on. The speaker. I'm the chair of the day. The speaker is Karla Nivens of Highland Park United Methodist Church. Karla was the song leader, worship leader, everything. Quite a fine musician, but she transitioned into racial justice and equity. I guess I'll just say before I introduce her, her husband Roosevelt is the superintendent of the Independent School District, Community District up in Levant. And so Highland Park Methodist decided that something needed to be done. But this is not a Highland Park thing. These are just suggestions for other people. And for our Jewish members, you've already been there. The Jews in America were on the forefront of racial justice and equity for the entirety of the 20th century and the 21st century. But it's a little reminder to you, a refresher. But a lot of us, I will say, people my age, old, white, comfortable people, have a hard time really understanding, and that's part of our problem. But in this divided age, it's good to get a little bit of empathy and understanding and from people who will help us get there. And maybe we need to be a part of that. Rotary, religious groups, all community groups that really want to save their communities need to be part of repairing this awful division we experience now in racial justice. Karla Nivens.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. This is such a treat and a pleasure. This is my first time being able to attend a Rotary Club meeting, and so I've enjoyed myself so far. The things that really stick out to me is that you are an organization that strives to better your community, that wants to put others first, that wants to see what can we do to make the world a better place. And that is what we are doing at Highland Park United Methodist Church. I am thrilled that I've been asked to look at the state of our church and say, what can we do to increase diversity and equity and inclusion in our area and in our church. This is my family right here. My husband, he is a former NFL lineman, so he's a big guy. It's fun, right? Okay, so you see me and you can imagine, you know, what he looks like. We have a very colorful family. Then our daughter is actually the oldest, even though our son my baby has grown tall, y'all. My daughter is a freshman at SFA. When I talk about her, I say that she changes her hair color, her nails every week, but I'm not sure if she's going to class. So make sure you all keep us in your prayers with her, with our lovely daughter. Her name is Naomi. My husband's name is Roosevelt. And then our son is Roosevelt III, and he is a junior in high school. And I've been a member of Highland Park. I'm starting my 17th year. So mostly I've been working in Cornerstone as the worship leader. This year, starting my 17th year, I get to the fun stuff. This is the stuff I really like to do. And then we got a curveball thrown at us about 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago now. We got the call that my husband is going to be named next Tuesday, going to be voted in as the superintendent of Lamar Consolidated Independent School District in the Houston area. And so this is an unbelievable, we just feel so blessed for him to have this opportunity to move from community to Lamar Consolidated and really have, community is a 1 high school district and Lamar Consolidated is a 6 high school district. So it's an unbelievable blessing, and we're looking forward to what he's able to do in that district. So what does that mean for me at the church? Let me tell you, when I called Paul, our senior pastor, and I told him the day after Easter, which is an awful day, and we were supposed to be resting, and here I go telling him this kind of news. I told him on the phone, because we were off for our rest that day, and I told him tomorrow Lamar Consolidated is going to be meeting, and it's going to be public tomorrow that we're going to be moving to Houston. And he said, oh, okay, you all are agreeing to live apart then. And I was like, not quite. We're not agreeing to live apart. But what we've worked out is that I will most likely be coming back and forth to Dallas as we're continuing to put the legs on this ministry before we hand it off to other people at the church. So the first question, we all have to ask is, why focus on unity? How will this help us? What is this going to do for us? Well, the simple answer is, for me especially, is, you know what? Everything that I do, I want to be the best at it, right? I don't want to half do it. I don't want to be. I don't want to do just as much as I can do. I want to take it all the way. So when you really look at a unity in diversity and equity and inclusion, especially for Highland Park. We're thinking we do so much in our community and in the world, but what would it look like if we were the kind of organization that partnered with so many other organizations of led by different types of people from different races, from different cultures? Then what could we do? How much could we do if we link arms with different people? And that really is a thing that drives this ministry. What we want to do is we want to do this as best as we can. We want to do ministry the best way that we can see fit to do it. And that really means opening up our lives and our hearts and our families, our dinner tables, opening up to to building more relationships. I like to say that, when I was in Sunday school, my Sunday school teachers taught me, we are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. We are one in the Spirit, we are one in the Lord. And we pray that our unity may one day be restored. And they'll know we are Christians by our love, by our love. Yes, they'll know we are Christians by our love. Okay? So that song they taught us, and we sang it. But as we look at unity, it's more than a song. It's more than having this good feeling. It's more than an emotion. It's really a calling. And really, the world will know and will see how well we are doing with reaching people with our message as they see us linking arms with people outside of our races and cultures. So I had fun with this. I look back in our history of our church, and I really found I found some great things that really our structure back in history. We were doing some things that pushed the ball forward, that I'm sure that were very, very difficult to do in that time. One of the things, I hate, it's kind of hard to see this picture. One of the things that I really love, in 1945, the Highland Park United Methodist Church hired nurse Miss Mildred Smith during a tuberculosis pandemic. They hired her to provide care for people in her neighborhood. The thing I like about that is that if you can step in the shoes in 1945 of nurse Miss Mildred Smith, her family, and think about probably the state that her family was in. So she is a nurse, a certified nurse. But this huge church reaches out to her and says, I'm going to give you a paycheck. I'm sure that it helped her family. I'm sure it was much needed. And I'm sure it probably took her family from point A to point B, quite frankly. I'm sure it really was a huge blessing. I'm going to pay you. I'm going to give you this check, but I'm not going to have you come out of your neighborhood. I'm going to empower you to stay in your neighborhood and provide care for your people. Okay? So things like that. That I'm sure was unheard of for that time. I'm sure that was a difficult thing to get done. I was reading through all the notes. These things, they got a bunch of pushback, but the church continued to push forward and do things like that. So, and there are a couple of things, but for time's sake, we'll keep going forward. So now, where are we? As Richard said, that a lot of times we're all over the place when we think about diversity. So we need something that kind of brings us all together where we can understand kind of what it is. Really, the basis of diversity is love. So when I start teaching and talking to people about diversity, really what I'm saying is we're just opening our hearts. The foundation of this is love, and it really is a calling. For our church, we're just doing a bunch of self-reflection. We're asking ourselves great questions about where we are and what we can do to improve. We're building strong relationships with organizations of diverse leadership. And like I said, when we do something, we want to do it to the best of our ability. we're becoming number one in this, quite frankly. Okay, that's what I'm telling our staff. We're becoming number one. We want to be the staff that is the example for all other staff. So I've created several things that we are doing. We have a Stronger Together Week or Apart class that I teach, and really, like I said, the main thing we're talking about is love. It's not really as hard as or as difficult as we think it is. And we're partnering with other local partners here in Dallas, because we don't want to make it so difficult where everybody has to travel to another country or something like that. There are things that we can do right here. The Bonton Farm, that's a perfect thing. That is a food desert. And so that area, when we go over and raise awareness and, help that farm and make sure that it stays alive and make sure that, it really gets the help that it needs so that it can continue to serve that area, we're making a huge difference. So things like that. Civil rights pilgrimages, I'll talk more about that in a minute, but when you step into history, especially if you take some people with you from another race and culture and you both go on this trip and you step in history together, it changes your heart as you're doing that. Then I found this very cool thing called a race toolkit. A race toolkit can be used for anybody in any organization. The race toolkit really allows you to ask great questions of yourself and say, I'm here, but I want to be over there. And it just gives you the step-by-step process to get where you want to be. We're also looking at how we hire staff. We have a consultant that's in that is taking us through that and making sure that we're getting the message out far and wide to different races and different cultures of people when we have openings at the church. And then what I call our shining star, but really the Lord did this for us, is our Camp to Career. The Stronger Together Week or Apart has been a blessing. And so, Richard, I'm teaching this class again now, and we have about 70 people signed up so far. We thought when we rolled out this class that all of our 20-year-olds were going to be the ones that signed up. That really has not been the case. It's been mostly people over 50 who are reaching out and saying, I want to engage in conversation here. I want to know more about it. And they're appreciating this study because it's not confrontational or anything like that. Really, we're talking about how to love people. So it's been a good thing for us. We have several local partners here that we are partnering with. St. Philip's, United to Learn, Love Ministries, Classroom Connect, St. Luke United Methodist Church, Project Unity, and Men of Nehemiah. I'll talk quickly about Project Unity because that is one that a thing, again, anyone can use. Project Unity brings people together. Usually it's in person like this, and you sit around a table and they have pre-made questions. And you go around and you talk about your experience with these questions. And people really are coming away from these conversations very enlightened, because a lot of times we don't give ourselves permission to talk about race and to talk about culture. If you can think of how many times you've been in a conversation about race, it hasn't been that many times. Well, Project Unity kind of sets the stage, brings down the anxiety level. We put food in front of people's faces, that kind of thing, make it more like a dinner table, and then you engage in conversation. And people are really honest and really open, and everyone learns from each other. So we've had a great time working with Project Unity. Next Tuesday, in fact, we're going to get a chance to go and be with Men of Nehemiah. That organization does a fantastic job serving people who are overcoming addictions. And they do a great job with this. One of the things that they do, one of their core elements is worship. And if you've ever seen the Men of Nehemiah and seen the power that they have, they'll bring 100 men, and these 100 men will sing, but they will pour out their hearts. And the meaning behind that is that they have been, struggling with some things that they haven't been able to get over. And so they are excited to learn about this power bigger than themselves that helps them move the needle forward and helps them push forward. So next Tuesday, we're taking a group of about 20 of our congregant members, and we're going to their program. We're not doing anything. We are participants, and this is one of those things that we are learning to do, that we don't have to be the presenters. We can join with another ministry and participate and learn as well from other organizations. So we're looking forward to having a wonderful time there. Talking about the Civil Rights Pilgrimage. So this is our senior pastor, Paul Rasmussen, and this quote is the quote that he gave. He says, "I've always believed a thoughtful exploration of history is vital to a healthy future. The civil rights trip was that and more. Sobering, yes, but I've seldom been as moved by an experience." And what he did was he had the opportunity to go on this civil rights pilgrimage with some of our outreach campers, okay? And so when he got back and he called me into his office, this was a couple of years ago, and we were kind of debriefing about it. I told him, I said, "Paul, you should have had this on your Twitter," because that's the only thing he does is Twitter. So you should have had this on your Twitter. You didn't put any pages up. I said, any pictures up on your page. I said, when does a group of like 20 black and brown teenagers get a chance to spend the week or week and a half with a white senior pastor, over a huge church? And then he said, "Well, when do I ever have the opportunity to spend a week and a half with black and brown teenagers, experiencing something like this?" So I say that to say, man, this trip was impactful for everyone that was on the trip. And there were it was more than Paul from our church, but they went on this trip and created a family because they got to sit there and take in things. Sometimes the pictures showed just all of them standing there crying as they're, taking in the history of America, because some things really break your heart about where we've come from. But they were standing there and they just bonded. They still meet with these young people. A lot of these young people are now in college, and they get together with them. They text each other all the time. They're praying with each other all the time. And it just, from this, created this beautiful relationship and bridge building opportunity that we didn't even know was going to happen. So now what we're going to do is do these pilgrimages on purpose. So, but then COVID happened, so we started planning some here, some in town, and that is what we're doing as well. And then we'll get back to traveling with each other as soon as possible. The Race Toolkit, the reason I talk about this is the Race Toolkit is another thing that is not adversarial, but any organization, because it's not a Christian, it's not a Christian training. It is a diversity, equity, and inclusion training, but it's set up a little different than others. Really what it does is help you to ask questions about every area of your organization. It helps you ask yourself great questions. And then you decide, okay, this is where we are and this is where we want to be. And then the Race Toolkit helps you to get to where you want to be. And we're very excited about digging into this. We're going to be breaking up at the church into our different departments and having these deep conversations about how we do ministry, and we're looking forward to that. A big thing of this is relationship building. We want to make sure that whatever we do in this work, that we don't create adversaries, that we don't create this group here, this group is over there. What we have found that as we started this, that the different departments are knowing and understanding each other more than they ever have. And so our building services team, I'll share with you, is mostly brown or black people. After we started doing this relationship building work together, we had a huge serving day, and there were people in seemed like every room of the church, and it took a lot to get done. Our building services team felt heard and seen more than they have ever in the history of the church. And what we saw was on that serving day, we saw them have the opportunity to really dig into their work like they haven't before. And in fact, one of them said, listen, your mission is now my mission. So we're doing this work, and we're allowing people to share the deep things that are going on in their heart, and maybe things that have broken their heart about their history because of their race. And it's creating this family that, we didn't know we were missing, right? We didn't know we were missing that, but something was missing, and we're glad that we're doing this. And of course, I said we're looking at our hiring practices because we want to be the best. We want to be the model. And then our Camp to Career. So I talked about the civil rights pilgrimage. From that family that was created, the people, some of our members from Highland Park said, we're not going to let these young people go. And in fact, we're going to make sure that as they go to college and as they go to their careers, that we help make an equitable situation for them. So members of Highland Park, not even through the church's budget, they raised this money on their own, and they bought the college students computers, and they keep up with them. They send them money, a little, $20 or so they can make sure that they go into football games and basketball games. They outfitted their rooms. When I say outfitted, I mean they got stuff for every single area of their room, and it was specific to each child. So they said, what colors are your room? What colors are your room? What colors are your room? And then they bought all of this stuff in their colors, and the kids were so super proud to be able to go to college and look like every other kid. And they made sure that they had the money to pay for all of the books and things. Anything that we would do for our kid, they make sure that they did that, for their kids. And so I remember, this is a personal story. Both of my parents are first generation graduates from college. So I remember some pictures from my mom when she first went to college. What she had on her walls was a magazine torn out, pages torn out of the magazine and tacked on the wall. And so you can imagine, if you're going to college, you're on scholarship, and you know that you can do the work, but it's the other things that make you stand out and make you feel less than. And this Camp to Career program is turning the tables for these young people. They're going to be successful, yes. They're going to college, yes. But what we want is for them to have a full experience and really feel like, I'm good enough to be here, I'm supposed to be here, and I'm going to kill this, while I'm here. So that's kind of the meaning behind the Camp to Career program. And like I said, to close this out, really, it's good and it's pleasant and it's pleasing to the Lord as we do our work and we decide that unity is going to be a factor that we are going to include in our work, and it's really all about love. So, did I leave time for questions? Are there any questions?
Karla, it's so great to have you here. Thank you. On behalf of all of us, we're delighted to have you, and we wish you the best. We want you to stay,
I know.
But we wish you the best. What I know is this, our group represents so many different faith communities and organizations beyond Rotary. So I'm wondering if I'm sure the momentum is already there within our church to develop some of these programs that we can share and we can outboard to other churches and to other organizations so that we can maybe figure out some things that work well for us and then outboard them and share them and introduce them to other programs. Is that already underway?
Yes, absolutely. So we are keeping up with every single thing that we are doing. One thing that I really didn't hit that I really encourage everyone to do, we do it at the church of course, in a faith-based way. But we have opened up this opportunity once a month for one person in our organization to share some history about their race and their culture, and maybe even share some things that, haven't been so stellar in their lives, some about some pain that's been going on. That's one thing that I didn't say, but we did that one thing. We've had like 2 so far. We did that one thing. Is all we call it is a share in prayer. It's not even, we didn't even come up with a great name with it. A share in prayer. We just pull everybody in the room and allow one person to share, and then we pray together. That one simple thing changed so much for so many people, right? So it's things like that yes, we are bottling and we are keeping great notes and taking all of these, keeping everything together so that we can hand it off to other organizations.
Karla, we're going to miss you greatly, but congratulations, Roosevelt.
Thank
you. Great things down in Houston. But how has this gone over, like with Munger and the Grove and other?
Yes. So when I guess what we do in Mama at the Highland Park campus is open to all of our other campuses as well, and so they are all of our other campuses are welcome to participate with us and do participate with us, especially with the race toolkit, because that's the easy thing to do. Because you have to break up into your kind of little organization, your micro organization, and ask yourself questions. It's different for every single area, different every single ministry. And so our other campuses are taking part, especially in the race toolkit.
I'm afraid we've arrived. I hate to cut it off, but it is time. Thank you, Karla, so much for enlightening us on that.
Thank you.
And we're going to put a book in your name, in your honor, at the Preston Hollow Elementary School.
Thank you. Thank you. I would love that.
Okay,
thank you.
And now next week, got that point in life I have to put my glasses on. I can't tell you what's going to happen next week. Rachel Perry, speech and language pathologist, everything you've always wanted to know about your voice, but we're afraid to ask. And Rob will be our chair of the day for that. So Major Hawks, Todd Hawks, will lead us in the 4-way test.
The 4-way test. Read it together. Our 4-way test of the things we think, second, third, build confidence and friendship, and fourth, thank you. And I have the privilege. Have a good day.